Welcome back to Stuff That We Like / Enjoy, at least at this point in time. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Christina.
And we're the Castanettas.
Yes. And we're going to hop right in. And I'm going to ask Caleb, what is something that you like / enjoy, at least at this point in time?
So something I like / enjoy is the topic of how not to waste your 20s.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought about this topic. I do. I thought about this topic because I was pondering what I would tell myself at 20 years old now that I'm 31. Then I realized I know a lot more people that are a lot more wise than I am. Maybe I should just ask them. And the funny thing is I got so much good advice that I probably don't have time for my own advice in this podcast. So I'm going to do a part 2 to this later on with just probably our own wisdom regarding how not to waste your 20s. But
love it.
For now, I'm going to highlight all the answers I got from people kind of around the nation that have spoken into my life and are a lot wiser, maybe the same age and some older too, as well as our parents.
Yeah. A lot of them are listeners of the podcast.
Yes, which is awesome. So let's dive right in.
Okay, great.
And feel free to butt in. This is going to be a very content-heavy, me talking a lot podcast probably. So anytime you have a question or want to make a point of your own, just go ahead and butt in.
Love it.
Cool. So this first tip for how not to waste your 20s comes from a dear friend in Michigan, Marvin Williams. Now, Marvin is a preacher, soon to be pastor, I'm sure, of some place out there, but amazing man. When I first met him, he was consistently reading the word 2 hours a day, which is insane. Yeah. Crazy. And it really shows in his life. But the tip he left was to keep your 20s in perspective. So hypothetically, he said if you live 80 plus years, then your 20s are the foundation of the rest of your lives. So your 20s are the training ground for the rest of your life.
Wow.
Yeah. So keep that in perspective. Really foundational time to be wasted at the feet of Jesus.
That's great.
Which I love.
Yeah. What do you mean by wasted at the feet of Jesus?
I put that in there.
Okay. But like what does that mean to you?
That means putting your career on hold and laying everything you have and are at the feet of Jesus.
Yeah. So follow his direction rather than your own ambitions.
Yes, for sure. And I was talking to somebody who was like 18 thinking about going into a ministry college rather than going and making a career in videography the other day. And I was like, listen, I can't recommend going and putting 2 to 4 years just into living a life dedicated to the Lord at 18 to like 20 to 22, because I agree with Marvin, that is the foundation of the rest of your life.
I love that.
So that's what I mean.
That's cool. Yeah. Rather than putting your own desires or plans first, dedicating a season to diving into the word or growing a relationship with the Lord. And then the other stuff could come after. Yeah. But that's the foundation that you build your life on. I really like that perspective of, your 20s are, 10 years of your life. The first 10 years of your life that you have more free will, like you're out of high school, know? That's what the rest of your life is built on.
Would you recommend that? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the habits that we form, I would obviously even recommend this to somebody who's in their teens, the habits that we form younger in life will then keep us likely away from more stress and hardship to an extent. And there's less that you have to undo.
Totally.
If you just kind of lock into being disciplined and prioritizing the Lord, your family, your relationships. And I think that also it's easy, a lot, what the world or the public school system might be. It's like, oh, you got to figure out your dream job and you got to figure all this out, at 18, 19. I know we're talking about our 20s. When just last week you were having to raise your hand to ask to go to the bathroom and now you're supposed to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. I like Marvin's point of making your 20s the foundation. You don't have to figure it all out, but that's what you build on.
Yeah. I still raise my hand if I want to go to the bathroom though, because you don't let me.
What?
Mommy has to let baby go to the bathroom. I'm just kidding. All right, we're moving on.
That would be really weird.
That would be crazy. All right, moving on to some advice from Copy Yake. So Kevin Yake in Michigan, awesome guy, uncle of some of my best friends up there. He had some great advice. He had 7 specific points. So we're going to run through them. And then he also had a little blurb after each point as to why you should do that.
Love it.
Yeah. So coming from Copy Yake, the first tip on how not to waste your 20s is to take calculated risks. He said, take risks, but prepare and train first. There's a big difference between whimsically following your dreams and the diligent pursuit of your passion, which I do agree.
Yes.
Yeah. Take risk.
That. Take risk, but like have the knowledge or, of how to take that risk.
Yeah. As somebody who's been through it first.
Exactly.
But take the risk.
Right.
Do the thing.
I like that. Yeah. It's kind of like, oh, you want to start a business? Take the risk, start the business, but maybe have a modicum of knowledge of how to run the business.
Totally. And also have a job to fall back on while you're building the business.
Yes. Yeah.
Something, well thought out. So I like that.
That's a great tip.
Number 2, on how not to waste your 20s, Copy said, save 5 to 10% of your income from the age of 20 to 65 without fail. He said, I've seen the depression and sadness of the old who didn't do this, and it's quite terrifying. If you do this, then you'll likely have $1 to $2 million saved up by the time you retire.
Wow. So save 5 to 10% of your income, your whole adult life, and you'll have a nice retirement fund.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Copy is a big reason I got into investing in my very late 20s.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have done it before that.
And honestly, even if you don't invest your money in the stock market or something, just honestly saving it, having it in a savings account, it won't accrue a ton of interest, but it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that I kind of grew up my whole life, not even through any teaching of my parents or anything like that, but like that Jesus is going to come back by the time I'm 50 was kind of my retirement plan. In the last couple of years, I've been like, oh, well, what if that doesn't happen?
Yeah.
Not him coming back, but I might, live out my entire life.
Yeah.
And
then you be in a trailer because you didn't put 5 to 10% aside. Yeah, no, it's a good point though. And I do definitely agree with it.
I like it.
His third point is to become excellent at your craft. So differentiate yourself through excellence in your craft. This should not be hard in this generation, he said. And I agree. I don't think it's very difficult to stand out in what area you dedicate yourself to because everybody thinks easy things are hard right now.
Yes.
The hardest thing people are doing right now is trying to win social media followers.
Right. Or like, oh, I'm not going to quit my job and actually stay there for a full year.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, oh, I have to show up to work 40 hours a week. That's so hard.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you just dedicated 10 years, like throughout your 20s to a craft, are you kidding me? You know how good you would get at that?
Being really good at whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Love it. His fourth one is don't date. Marry the friend God tells you to. He says, don't waste time dating. Find a friend and marry them when God confirms them as your mate. I really love this. I really love this. You have to be careful not to go into the I kiss dating goodbye kind of area with this advice, where it's like you don't date because it's godly not to date. You should just
only date one person ever.
Yeah,
and then you marry him.
Totally. But I agree. You should marry your best friend.
Yeah.
You find a friend, and then when God confirms them, just be like, all right, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Of course, there's the flip side of like you meet a really cool girl or guy, and you're like, they're not your friend, and and you date them,
Oh yeah, totally.
So, but hopefully that would be somebody that you bump into in real life rather than just like scrolling through Hinge or Bumble and just finding a bunch of random people. So I could think you could use this and expand it a little bit. Like, doesn't maybe have to be your friend that you date, but at least a friend of a friend or somebody that knows somebody, kind of a thing. Yeah. And I think also maybe his intention was like less dating around or dating a lot of people, but when you are, it's with intentionality of somebody you like and enjoy.
Totally.
It's huge.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Do you think we were friends before? I would think we were friends.
We tried to not be friends for a long time.
Yeah.
I think that was the most difficult thing, was not being
right, because we liked each other, so then we couldn't really be friends because then we'd end up together. We were trying not to do that.
It was kind of like a magnets thing. It was like we couldn't get too close to each other because we kept falling into liking each other.
Right.
So we had to stay apart.
Yeah.
So we were definitely,
So we like couldn't be friends.
Definitely. Didn't take this advice at that point.
No, but it's because we had a friendship.
But it's because the principle is sound.
Yeah.
So his fifth tip is plan to be a young parent, which I love this. In your 20s, plan on having kids young because it's awesome to be in your 40s playing hockey with your kids that are 20.
I like that. And Copy loves playing hockey.
Copy loves that hockey, man. Yeah. I really do agree with this, though. If you're going to be a parent, be a young parent.
Yes.
Just do it.
Definitely. Yeah. Growing up, because I mean, I did grow up more of the I kissed dating goodbye culture. It wasn't something that my parents taught or they were like, yeah, you can have a boyfriend. You don't have to marry this person. I remember my mom telling me that my first boyfriend, I was just not the right relationship. And she was like, you don't have to marry him. And I was like, what? Just okay, that's an awesome idea. But all that to say, it was very much like you get married young and then you have kids young, which some people can look down upon, oh, you need to experience life, go to college, all that. But those people that I know did that have some of the healthiest and happiest relationships. Some of my good friends that I grew up with, Zalise and Okosi, they both got married at 2021. They're siblings and obviously married to other people. But they both had their first kid, I think, within about a year of being married. And now they have 4 kids each. And their life is amazing and so full. And it's so cool that they're, each are going to have 3 or 4 kids by the time they're 30 or at 30. Yeah. And they will get to play sports with their kids when they're 40 and aren't old. So
for sure. And I think that in when the kids move out, when they're in their late 30s or mid 40s or whatever, they're going to have that sweet time alone together. And so it's either you get that sweet time at the beginning of marriage and you wait to have kids, or you can get it later in life. You're going to get that time though, with each other alone. But I would say I agree with Copy. If you're going to do it early.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. And it's of course, some people, they don't get married till later in life or their circumstances. But I think the ultimate point is don't put off marriage and kids for the sake of achieving your own goals.
Totally.
That those can be an amazing goal. And my mom got married to my dad. I think she was 20 and they had me when my mom was 23 and my brother at 25. And my brother moved out when he was 17. And so they've been, at 41, got to enjoy life with us, and then also are enjoying life together.
Yeah. They're not playing hockey, but it's because they don't like hockey.
Yeah, so. Exactly. They're doing other things, But I think that's amazing. If you're going to have kids or you have a desire to have kids, don't put off the getting married and having kids thing for the sake of your career or waiting till the perfect time. Yeah. Of course, within reason, there's caveats, as we say as 31-year-olds who do not have kids.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. His sixth tip is
maybe that was a little pointer, hey guys, hop on getting the kids thing.
I'm sorry, Copy. I don't know if it's gonna happen, man. I got my whole career ahead of me. No, I'm just kidding. His sixth tip is to cement your worldview and know what you believe. He said, in your 20s, establish an unshakable faith in God. Know what you believe on every issue in a worldview and be able to articulate it with conviction and competence. He said there's no such thing as a moderate or a centrist worldview. There's only knowledge of the true or ignorance.
There's only knowledge or the true
of the true
or ignorance of it. I really like that. I think that it's good to know why you believe what you believe without feeling I think he said what, cement or concrete it or something like that.
Yeah, cement it.
Yeah. And so I think that's good within reason, because you don't know what you don't know. And so I think as like a 21-year-old, you're like, this is why I believe what I believe. That there needs to be a slight amount of flexibility to be like, oh, just like me, I'm like, I'm not living till I'm 80. Jesus is coming back. And so that was and I knew why I believed what I believed, but there has to be a little bit of openness to like still learning and growing from other people. But I think the broad concept is excellent. Like I remember at the end of high school, I was around a bunch of people who were Christians, but would be more what you consider to be legalistic or I don't know, just things I didn't believe. And they were talking about God causing people to be in car accidents or get cancer because they had sinned, or they must have sin in their life. And I knew that was wrong, but I did not have other than I'm like, I know God's good, and I don't believe that he causes people to have cancer because they did something wrong, or causes a family to get in a car accident and their kids die because the dad went and had a beer the night before.
Yeah.
So I knew I didn't believe that, but I did not know why, in the sense of what was in the scriptures or things like that. And so that was an interesting time for me, kind of like he's saying there's either truth or the ignorance of it. And I'm like, I knew a truth, but I was ignorant as to
what it was.
Like
how to articulate
it.
Which is what I think that's my favorite part of this whole point, is that you have to be able to articulate with conviction and competence your worldview, which makes you search it out.
Yeah, it does.
In order to know how to say something, you have to know what it is and why you believe it.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, that's such a good principle to have in life.
Right.
To be able to articulate why you believe what you believe, you have to have had to search it out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was in a senior year of high school. There was a big earthquake in Haiti, and we were talking about it in class. And it wasn't even, I think it was like a speech class. So it wasn't even like a philosophy or religion class. And the teacher and a good chunk of the students were talking about how God cursed Haiti with an earthquake because there was pagan religion there, which, I mean, there's pagan religions in every country on earth.
Yeah.
And I remember pushing back against that, and my teacher saying to me like, well, it seems that you view God as a God of love. And I was like, well, yeah. But I had no art, and they had their certain little verses that they could twist, in my opinion, to fit their narrative. And I just was like, well, God is love. And so he doesn't do that. But I could not articulate beyond that why
Absolutely.
I believed it.
And there's a point to be able to articulate and debate what you believe for sure.
And I was like, I'm just going to cry. That was my answer.
That was hey, sometimes that's the best debate. It wins all of our arguments.
Yeah, your speech teacher is definitely going to shut up if you just start bawling. Yeah.
When I cry, you keep yelling at me though.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
You cry 3 times.
Once a year. I love this point so much.
So good.
His last point, 7th and last, would be one with God. So he says, in your 20s, ignore everything else on this list except this one. Get to know God intimately. Find out how to hear his voice and become good at it. Do what he tells you to do every moment of every day. And remember that Jesus prayed in John 17, that you would become one with the Father, just like he and the Father are one. He said that I'm counting on God to answer that prayer. After all, it was Jesus who asked that.
Yeah.
And I don't see God saying no.
I love that.
And you guys the people listening probably don't know copy, but that's the most copy way to end that. It's like, I don't see God saying no.
Yeah, so,
I love that.
Love it.
His personality coming through. But this is by far one of my favorite points right here. It's like, just listen to God and do what he wants you to do. Get good at hearing his voice and just do it, because you won't understand it. And if you do that in your early 20s, you're going to understand that you're not going to understand what God wants you to do a lot of the time in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Yeah. But if you build that intentionality of doing what he says to do anyways, that's going to set you up for success in your spiritual life for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this point.
That's so good. Huh. Yeah. I think that, devoting your time and energy to reading the Bible, growing your relationship with the Lord, actually talking to him, having a conversation. That's kind of like back to Marvin's point of like, rooting your 20s is the ground level for what you're going to build the rest of your life on. And of course, if you're in your 30s or 40s and you didn't do that, we'll start now, building on that foundation. There's a bit more work to undo stuff, but yeah. Absolutely. I remember talking to my brother about, we were talking, this was like about 10 years ago, maybe 8, about how following God and what he's telling us to do is quite difficult at times. And just like doing whatever you want is kind of easier.
Totally.
But we were talking about how it is easier at the time, but it doesn't make life easier in the long term.
Yeah.
So what we decided on was that like following God doesn't necessarily make life easier, but it makes it better. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there is a denying to self. There is the promise that we will have trials and tribulations in this world, but that we have hope in him and we have the peace that passes understanding. And so while at the moment it might not feel easier to spend that hour a day reading the Bible, talking to the Lord, asking him for wisdom, it will be better.
Yes. Yeah. It will be better. Absolutely. I love this point.
It's great. Good job, Copy.
Good job, Copy. Thank you so much. And lastly, Copy asked that we pay him $3.17 for this advice, which obviously he didn't take his own second rule of saving 5 to 10% if he needs us to pay him $3.17. So there you go, Copy.
But if we ever make any income off of this video.
Oh, man. Copy is the first person getting a check. Yeah. Absolutely.
And you better save 5% of that.
Yeah, you better save that, Copy. You're going to need
that whole 17 cents.
I love it. We love you, man. Thank you so much. Another loyal Stuffy who didn't want to be named wrote these tips. So in your 20s, don't waste your 20s pursuing romantic relationships.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Pursue God, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So another foundational tip, kind of like we've been hearing, it's becoming a theme. It's like pursue God first and foremost. Yeah. And he will give you the desires of your heart. And I'm assuming that this is referring to the relationship part of it.
As well. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I think that's excellent. I think that it's easy to try and figure out who you're going to marry or finding the right person. But like you don't have your life together or your relationship with the Lord or following his wisdom. And again, it's like it might be easier at the time, but it's better to walk in, the path he has for you. And then you don't have to waste your time with those 4 other people and you don't even know who you were or you want in life.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. The second point that they sent in was don't waste your 20s on partying and frivolous things. Go to college, find a trade, and save money. It may seem hard and not fun, but it will pay off when you're in your retirement years. And the person who sent this in is almost in their retirement years.
Cool.
And I want to clarify, they said go to college or find a trade. Right. So they're not recommending you go to college.
You have to go to college, yeah.
But I like this. I really do. It sets you up for life. Like this is really good. Like I think Copy said is like find something and master it. I think it's the principle that they're pointing out right now too.
It's good. And even if like you end up changing careers or the trade that you've invested time in, you're still gaining experience and, not wasting your time.
Totally.
I think it's a huge part.
It's huge. The third point that they sent in is don't get pregnant before you get married. Oh, okay. It makes things a lot harder. And so that was it.
Here we go. That was it for them. Right.
That's valuable. That's a valuable thing, though.
Very valid.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wait till after you're married, people. The next tips come from 3 different people, our age.
Okay.
They are loyal Stuffies, our good friends Nathan Yake, Carson Acton, and Daniel Yake.
Lots of Yakes.
Lots of Yakes going on today. They had 4 points. And their first one is take time to intentionally explore careers, ideas, and to travel.
That's awesome.
What do you think of that?
I feel like, that's something that I did in my, first half of my 20s for sure. And yeah, I found a lot of things that I'm good at, but I don't like, or things that I like, but I'm not good at. And I don't have to wonder if maybe I want to do this. I tried it and I'm like, not for me. I got to do a lot of traveling through missions trips with Traveling Connected. Yeah, I think that was amazing to get to experience different cultures or be around different people and, I don't know, just figure out a little bit of, it led me back to like, okay, I do want to do what I'm currently doing in life.
Yeah.
I think that it's easy to, when you're like, you get a job in something or a ministry or, a career, and it's good and you're enjoying it. But I think there's so much fear of missing out, or like, oh, what if I actually want to be an architect or, something like that. Well, then just go and do that. Intern at that, go travel, go, all that stuff. Like I had huge dreams growing up of like, I want to travel to every country in Europe and I want to do this and that and that. And I still love traveling, would like to go to Europe again. But after doing different missions trips and things like that, I'm like, I'm actually like really content being in Kansas City and like driving to Colorado for a week trip instead of taking 4 flights in subways and trains and
my gosh,
luggage and customs. Like there's so many things that we romanticize. And so just actually experiencing them, I think can kind of help you, enjoy life and figure out what you want quicker.
For sure. I really, really resonate with this, the exploring careers and the traveling as well. Like I did a lot of traveling in the States when I was in my early 20s, late teens to early 20s. And those are some of my fondest memories.
Same.
Traveling with those people my same age and in that same time in life was so, I would say like probably marked me for life and marked our friendships for life. Yeah. So I think the travel piece is huge. And also the exploring careers. It takes me back to when we first started doing like challenges, like 30-day challenges. We did a couple 30-day challenges with stuff we thought we would love doing. Yeah. Like art.
You're like, let's do art for 15 minutes each day.
Yeah. I hated it so much.
Our pieces got pretty rough by the end.
They did. And we weren't terrible to start with. Like, I mean, like you said at the end, it got worse because we didn't care. But towards the middle, they were getting better. But I was still like, I just still don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And so it's the same principle. Like, I do think that I went through a couple careers in my 20s that was really helpful to rule out.
Yes.
They were sucky careers to begin with that nobody wanted to be a part of. But now I for sure know.
Exactly.
I don't want to be a packager at an organic food warehouse. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And then that probably makes you appreciate your current job more, even when you're stressed out or frustrated by it. Like I worked at a Chick-fil-A front of house for a while, and then I worked in the kitchen, and I was just by myself making chicken salad sandwiches and fruit cups. Just me for 8 hours a day. It was cold. And like, first of all, I think everybody should do a job in the service industry at some point in their lives. Yeah. But I'm like, I am so thankful for my job. And I'm so thankful for the people that work those jobs, which I think those jobs aren't really meant for somebody to do for 40 years. I don't think anybody has a manager of Chick-fil-A doesn't want a worker to be making fruit cups and chicken salad sandwiches for 40 years. Yeah. But it does make you appreciate the jobs you have in the future.
Oh, for sure.
And you wouldn't have that unless you tried them out.
There's so many times where I'm sitting at my desk editing a video and then I'm like frustrated at the video. Things are hard in life. And I think back to when I was like working landscaping and I'm like, this is so easy. I am so thankful for those career paths that I had to go through to get here. And I think this first point just resonates. Absolutely. Number 2, don't feel like you have to rush through things. You have plenty of time.
I like that.
I think it's a good point. Yeah.
Don't waste your time, but you have plenty of time.
Yes. Don't feel like you have to get to the person you're going to marry. Right. Don't feel like you have to get to the career that you want to get to or you think that you want to get to. You have tons of time. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I think, it's great. there's a difference between having pursuits and dreams and then making things happen. And it's a great, yeah.
Yeah. The third point was try to excel at something. It doesn't have to be a career, but learn what it means to really master a craft. You can learn a lot about life by mastering something. Miyamoto Musashi said, once you understand the way broadly, you can see it in all things.
Wow.
I have no idea who that is.
It's probably some Japanese philosopher, monk man.
I really don't know if they're trolling me by putting this quote in there or if this is like a really...
It seems a little...
Okay, he was an artist and a writer and a swordsman and a strategist. So I think they meant...
Is he
this.
Japanese?
Japanese.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I was like, wow, I really missed the context of that.
But once you understand the way broadly, you can see it in the little things. So like learn to master a craft. It doesn't have to be your career, but you can learn, like they're saying, you can learn a lot about life and just trying to master one thing. You can learn the practical principles of doing something consistently. You can learn through difficulty, which I think is huge in your 20s. You have to push through uncomfortability. And then on top of that, the career paths that open up in the future for you from mastering just one thing. I think that's huge in and of itself. So I like this point.
Interesting. Okay. Do you feel like that's something that you've done in your life or pushing towards? Yeah.
I didn't do that until probably my late 20s.
Yeah. It's the only one that I have maybe a little bit of pushback on. Maybe it's because I don't have an interest in that.
Watch out, boys.
But it's also like I can do that because I know.
She's coming for you.
I think that I would rather encourage somebody to get good or pretty good at like 3 or 4 things in their 20s rather than master something. Like I had a friend in college who was like, I'm going to be a which is none of the people I'm talking about. I think they're amazing musicians and have actually done some great stuff with it. Yeah. But he was super focused on, I'm going to be a professional electric player, recording artist. And he devoted so much time to it. And he just was not a naturally amazing musician.
Same.
I'm not by any means a naturally gifted musician at any stretch of the imagination. But he put so much like 30, 40 hours a week into mastering the craft of being an excellent electric player and then graduated college. And like, you can't really, unless you get in with a band or like you could play for a church or something like that, it's not really maybe something that like, oh, that's going to be your career forever. And so he had put all his focus on that and did not even like do good at his grades in any other class in college because he was so focused on that.
Yeah.
So it's like he made it through college, and you know, if he wants to go on to another program in school, it's like, here's my GPA. Yeah. It's 2.5, but I'm really good at this one skill. And so I think that, and now he doesn't even do anything related to music. Yeah. And I'm not sure what he's doing. So I think there's a little bit of, it's good to focus on something, but it would have been maybe better if he just got to be a really good electric player and put energy into other things in life too.
Totally. Yeah. And I think that that's a little bit more, that goes along the lines of a little bit more of like obsession because he actually neglected other areas of his life because he was trying to master stuff.
Would hang out with friends. Yeah. Gotta go practice.
See, I don't necessarily think that that's what they're saying. Yeah. I think that's awful and really unhealthy. I think there's a balance to it. But say that he actually did take care of his other grades and tried to excel at it. And developed, wasn't perfect at it.
He knew how to communicate with people, wasn't like a weird hermit person, like could have conversations.
You see, I don't think that that's good.
Yeah.
But I think that at the end of his career path in that industry or whatever it was, he probably learned to do one thing better than most. Yes. And he probably learned to dedicate himself to a craft, which is a skill we all need. Yeah. So I can see how people can do this to their own detriment.
Default. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. But I also think that it can be done in like a healthy way.
Yeah.
which I think is more what they're describing because
Totally.
the point previous to this was don't rush through things.
Exactly.
Like, take your time.
You don't have to
You
figure it out by the
plenty of
time you're 23.
Yeah.
You know, so he technically mastered it. But
He
yeah,
did
and also
master
my
it.
personality is I'm like a little bit of like a jack of all trades. I like to know a little bit of a lot of things. And the idea of like all I'm going to be for the rest of my life is really good at this one thing.
Yeah.
It feels so like claustrophobic and
Yeah, it's
trapping
like bottling
to me.
yourself up.
So I don't know if that's probably just a part of my personality.
So I have that same thing where I think I can do everything well.
Yeah. I think I can do most things okay. And I'm like totally fine with that.
You see, I'm like, I will become an expert in 5 things.
Right.
And then I kill myself with everything I'm trying to take on. And so I can see how trying to dedicate yourself to one thing and then also have a social life might be possible.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I do agree. I like this point.
Yeah. No, it's an excellent
this
point.
point.
Yeah. So just kind of teasing out.
Yes,
some
I
thoughts
love
with
that
it.
though.
Yeah.
I love it. Number 4, their last point, get married at some point in your 20s. Your 30s is when you start buckling down and focusing more on something. Better to have a strong marriage established. So don't feel like you have to figure out your life and then get married.
Yes.
Figure out your life with your partner. I think this is 100% true.
Yeah.
I remember talking to somebody in college and they were saying that they didn't agree theologically with their wife on like this one really, really paltry point.
Okay. It wasn't like significant.
No, not at all. And I was like, well, you're not aligned. That's, you're setting yourself
yoked.
up. Yeah, you're setting yourself up down the line to get divorced, man.
That was your advice?
No, it wasn't my advice. I was thinking this
Okay.
the whole time. And I had a little pushback. I was like, you need to figure that out.
Right.
But then after being married for, going on 3.5 years.
Yeah. 3.5 years.
It doesn't matter. Like, figure it out as you get married.
Yeah.
When you get married, you will do life together and you'll both grow and your ideas and theologies will, sometimes they'll merge, sometimes they won't.
Right.
But doing it with somebody is the point of your 20s.
Yeah. I think that's good. And I think that being married helps you then shape what you want to do in a more concrete way. Because maybe you're like, I really want to put all my effort and energy into a certain career. And then you meet somebody amazing, but that doesn't really fit into your career or your lifestyle. And therefore, you either have to change drastically something that you have put all your time and energy into and mastered, or not be with that person.
Yeah.
And I think that being married with somebody, it helps you both figure out what you want to put your time and energy towards. And it kind of, accelerates that.
Yeah. And it is a foundational time in your life where you need to establish a strong relationship. So I think that building that foundation with somebody else can make that relationship even stronger throughout the years.
Yeah. And it keeps you from getting selfish earlier.
Yeah. Totally.
You get less set in your ways. Or I have several friends that they're in great marriages, but they got married in their late 30s or even like early 40s. And they've shared, they're like, I lived just me by myself for 15 years. Now there's somebody else there and I have to adjust. You're like, you've done your own life a certain way for a very long time. Whereas usually in your 20s, you're in college or you're going to school or you have roommates. Most people live with other people. But then once you're 35, you usually live alone.
Yeah.
And so I think, being in your 20s, you're still like having to be flexible to work with other people's schedules and lives.
Yeah, it's the most social time of your life, probably.
So it's a good time to, meld your life with somebody else rather than like, well, this is just how I've been doing life for 10 years. And this is just what I do on Saturdays.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I got to change that. Or it's harder to change than when you never really set some of those routines.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%
Great
agree.
advice from them.
Thank you, boys.
Yes, thank you.
Moving on to the great, the one and only Carrie Pitzel.
My mother.
Mama Pitzel.
Can't wait to hear what she said.
Number 1, don't waste your 20s aiming for bigger and better or trying to do everything perfect and make everyone happy.
So good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, a little bit of like, take your time. You got to be in a rush. It's not bigger and better. And you don't have to make everyone happy is really big.
That's huge. That's for a lot of people pleasers out there like me.
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't have to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
And if you continue doing that throughout your 20s, like I said, it's a foundational time in your life.
Yeah.
is going to get ingrained inside you.
You'll just do that the rest of your life, trying to make people happy.
It's harder to break.
Right, yeah. So many people I know that they went to college for a certain thing because their parents really wanted them to be a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse or something like that. And it's like, oh, they did it and they didn't want to, and they finished it, and they're like, yeah, so I'm going to be a, or something totally different.
Yeah, a veterinarian or
right.
Love looking at bird watching.
I'm going to be a bird watcher. All those bird watching friends we have in our life. That's great advice. I
like that. I love hers because they're all like, don't do this.
Yes.
All other ones were like, you should do this, like safe. And she's like, just don't do this. It'll set you up for life.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Please, Jesus, not others. Yeah.
Number 2, Carrie said, don't waste your time comparing and complaining. Aim for a heart devoted to God, listening to him, obeying him, and loving him.
Wow.
So good.
Comparing and complaining. Yeah, I think that's a huge thing that people do in their 20s, especially, is compare to one another's, compare to people in their 30s or 40s, the life they want to have, being frustrated that they don't have it yet. Then you make different choices based on that. And then you complain about it.
Exactly. It's kind of a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Honestly. And they do say comparison is a killer of growth.
Yeah.
And I felt myself obviously we were in like a music school growing up. And so comparison was just part of the game in your head. We really had to fight it. So I love this point. Third point, don't try to control or fix people. She says, I'm absolutely convinced we can't. Instead,
I love that.
Pray for them, love them, and encourage them, then give them to God because he's really smart and really nice.
I love that. Don't try to fix people.
It's so true.
My mom, she has some of the most excellent ideas, and she's a natural teacher. So if anybody could fix somebody, she'd be the great person to call upon, because she's like, well, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
But just because you share that with somebody, the knowledge of what they need to do, it doesn't mean they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can't really fix them.
Yeah.
So, and then you carry this burden of trying to, when, like she said, just give it to God.
I really like it.
That's a really good point.
Her fourth point is don't waste your 20s striving, worrying, and anxious, but spend it learning to trust God more and more every day. And this goes back to what Kabi's saying. It's just like, listen to God, do what he says.
I love it.
Yeah. It's going to set you up for life.
Great advice.
Yeah. Thank you, Carrie. Awesome. And we're going to move on to Carrie's very close friend, Fred.
Her husband. My father.
Fred's first point is if you work for a company with a 401k, start investing in it. I love this point. I wish I knew about this when I was in my early 20s.
I wish I'd just till last year, the company that I've worked for 13 years, just found out last year that they offer a 401k.
Do they really?
Yeah. And I'm like, I could have been doing that for 10 years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Yeah, I love this point.
Yeah.
It really does pay off long term. Number 2, Fred says, start a savings account and save 5% of each paycheck.
Very much like Kabi.
Interesting.
That's very great.
Very interesting. I agree. Number 3, if you're single, get involved in as many groups as you can.
I love that. That's so great. I mean, that's how my dad grew up, like Catholic, more like a nominal Catholic. And then he got a little bit like started going to like a Unitarian church, and he's like, knew that wasn't right. And then he went to a Petra concert, and they had a altar call, and he got saved. And then he just joined several like clubs and groups at the college he was going to in Colorado. And he joined the Student Baptist Union, and he wasn't a Baptist. And my mom, who was not a Baptist, joined it too. And that's how they met, And
that's so perfect.
Kind of to Kabi's point of like marry somebody you're friends with. Like if you're looking for somebody, it's actually better just to like get connected with a bunch of groups than like find somebody random online.
Totally. This will be the most social time of your life.
Yeah.
And if you're going to find that person you're afraid of never finding in your 20s, well, you have a better chance if you're in a lot of groups all the time.
I love it. Yeah.
Great point. He says, if you are married, talk about your dreams together and bring that to God in prayer. I like this.
So good.
This is cool. We do this now.
We do this
in our 30s. And
dream together.
Oh my gosh. I just have such vivid memories of us talking about our dreams for the future on walks. And those are probably the most vivid memories I have besides like our wedding.
Yeah.
Just because this does make such an impact on you.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Really like it.
Yeah. I remember specific hikes or places according to like what we talked about. Like, oh, when we decided we were going to do a podcast or when we were going to do this or things like that.
Yeah. It's been a year. It's been over a year now.
Year and a half.
Podcast. Year and a half.
We started, I think, July 2024.
Oh my gosh. So cool.
Yeah.
Number 5, he says, raising kids is your calling at this point in life. Don't worry about missing out on things. Your kids will grow up quickly and you will miss them.
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
That's so sweet. That's your purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not just you have kids and then you're like, they're kind of a side thing, but that's like what you invest your time in.
Absolutely. And this goes back to copy.
Yeah.
Again, the 2 wise men who are older are telling us, like, telling everybody out there in your 20s, have kids and watch them grow up and invest in them.
Yeah, they're your priority.
Yeah, because you'll miss them. But guess what? We're right down the road, Fred.
Still around.
We're still around, man. You got to come over anytime.
That's great. Oh, it's really good thoughts.
All right, moving on to our last contributor here. Jesse Still, another man from Michigan, a good friend, good mentor, somebody who helps run the House of Prayer up there in Lansing. So thank you, Jesse, for writing in. He says, number 1, savor your singleness. He said, everyone will have a season of singleness. Most people will get married, so enjoy the freedom to serve in ministry, to travel to new places, and invest in a relationship with Jesus. Don't spend time stressing about your future relationship.
That's great.
I really like this. I wish this was me. You know, I was a huge romantic growing up. And so in my early 20s, I was like, where is he? What are we doing?
Where's she at? Let me find her.
Great advice, though. Number 2, he says, learn to manage your time. You will always have time for what you want to have time for. He says, prioritize your values. Life will only get more busy, so take control of your time decisions. If we think we are too busy to make time for what really matters, that means we're not managing our time well.
We think we're too busy to manage your time. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you talked about last week on your recommend on the podcast of like auditing your life every 3 months and like what are your priorities and making sure that they're there. And again, it's kind of gets back to having time for what you enjoy or at least what you think you would enjoy. There's so much like, oh, if I had more time, I would do this. Well, just make the time and do that thing and see if you actually want to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the quote, I just read the quote, but he quoted a friend of his that taught him this principle. And it says, you will always have time for what you want to have time for.
Yeah. So true.
Super simple.
Yeah.
Something we forget all the time. His third and last point, I think, is very important. It hasn't been mentioned yet, but it's find a mentor and listen to what they say. So find someone you think would be a good mentor and ask them to be your mentor. He said, no mentor is perfect, but we need someone who has wisdom we don't. Don't just look for peers to grow with. People in their 20s are always saying, I can't find good community. That's because they're over prioritizing being with their peers. They should be looking for community in people that are older than them as well as around the same age because you don't grow as much as you could without being around a person or persons who are more spiritually mature than you. I like this. I really do. In business, this is the number one way to grow. Find somebody who's been at the top, teach and let them teach you how to get there.
Yeah.
Why don't we put this into practice with, where we want to be in life in our 30s when we're just turning 20?
Right.
We should. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I got here.
It's great. It was amazing. I love how some of them were the same, kind of touched on the same points. Very helpful. Amazing advice from everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some do's, some don'ts. Yeah. Don't waste your time, but don't be in a rush. If you're going to get married and have kids, do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
If you can.
The consistent ones were, I went and pulled them all. And then I saw the consistent ones were use your 20s to seek God deeply, build discipline, save consistently, master something, form relationships, avoid distractions that waste this foundational decade. So I can put that on socials or in the bio of this episode, but it really does break down to like 6 or 7 points that I wish I would have known when I was 20.
Yeah.
So for everybody out there who's turning 20, like, good luck and Godspeed, but please take this advice. It really is worthy of listening to.
And if you're not 20 anymore, still take it.
Still take it.
As well as you can. I like it. What do you think is the number one you wish you had done?
Oh, man. That's so tough. I wish I would have learned to discipline myself to master something. I really didn't start growing into learning to have some self-discipline around that until my mid to late 20s. And at that point, I had lost some really pivotal years. And I regret that.
Yeah.
So I think that's the one thing. What about you?
I don't know.
You were perfect.
I'm like, I don't want to sound like I'm like, oh, I did most of those things.
Yeah,
but
you did great.
Most of those things. I don't know. I think the saving your money one is something that I didn't do in the sense of like setting aside a certain amount, but I ironically wish that I had spent more money in my 20s. I was so frugal and didn't save money. I mean, and saved money to the point that I think that I missed out on some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So that's different than a long-term savings fund. But also I was living, because I was doing ministry, there was like no money to save per se. There wasn't, you know what I mean? There was cents to save. And I wish that I had spent those cents to save on that latte instead of sitting there watching my friends drink coffee because I didn't want to spend $2 on a cup of coffee.
Right.
But that doesn't really go with what people have advised. And I'm not saying that I did all these things perfectly, but
there's caveats though.
Yes.
There's definitely caveats.
Yeah.
For sure. And next time we'll give them our advice.
Yeah.
The part 2, we'll take all this, think through it, and then, put our list on there.
I love your compilation list, people you asked. Thank you to those who responded.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys all so much. We really, really appreciate you.
Yeah.
And we'll be reaching out for further episodes and further wisdom as well.
Love it.
Thank you guys.
So good. .com. He also writes music. So you can follow him on Instagram at Caleb C Media. I have a Instagram as well, which I am not active on, but if you message me, I will respond. And that is C Joyfully. And that's all we have for today.
Yeah, if you want to get a hold of us for this podcast, just hit us up at stuffthatwelikepodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on the socials at stuffthatwelike_podcast on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been Stuff That We Like /enjoy, at least this point in time. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.